WV DMV Radio. I'm your host, Jennifer Dooley, and you're listening to West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles podcast, Licensed to Innovate. If you love old cars, new cars, pickup trucks, and motorcycles, curvy roads, dirt roads, interstates, and the ride home, and you love listening to your West Virginia friends and neighbors employed by the West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles tell you in their own words and their own voices how they're working to design innovations and efficiencies to make your West Virginia Division Motor Vehicles a better place for you, you've come to the right podcast. And this week, taking it a step further, if you love hope and recovery, opportunity, and West Virginians working together to build lives, we'll hear from Sherry Hensley in Driver Services about our partnership with Jobs and Hope West Virginia. And speaking of jobs, Harvey has a special roadmap for you when he shares the news. You're listening to Licensed to Innovate, West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles podcast. I'm Jennifer Dooley. Welcome, Sherry, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
So you're in Driver Services at the West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about Driver Services and what you do, what your section does.
I am the division manager for Driver Services, citations and processing and entry units. The units that I oversee, we deal with driver's license suspensions, reinstatements, etc. I also work with the medical unit on several different things. I've got a history working in every single different section of Driver Services. Driver Services in general is more, you could almost say it's like a driver improvement unit. All the units work for resolving issues that drivers have on their driving record history.
DMV participates with and partners with Jobs and Hope, which is a wonderful program. But let's talk a little bit about it, because you participated in the Day of Hope they had at the Capitol on January 20th.
Correct.
What was that day like?
It was a really good day to make good connections and build strong business relationships with our partners. The whole focus of the Jobs and Hope program is to give a helping hand to the citizens of West Virginia. Those individuals who are down in their luck, they've experienced revocations and suspensions, had issues with DUI. The Jobs and Hope program helps them get their driving privileges back. That is the part that we take care of here, but it's so much more. That program also helps educate our citizens, helps them advance their careers. It helps them find job placement, and I have been blessed to be part of this program since it came into existence. The citations unit and the DUI unit and the interlock unit of Driver Services helps work with those customers that are part of the Jobs and Hope program to resolve their suspensions, get them back their driving privileges, and as part of the program, anyone that's suspended for failure to appear or failure to respond, we do not require them to pay reinstatement fees on those suspensions. So that's also an added benefit for those drivers.
Jobs and Hope, I remember when it started. It seems like it was just a little while ago, like everything.
Yes.
But, yesterday, or working with them at the Capitol, they have all kinds of partnerships.
Yes, they do.
Every partnership is difficult to build. I mean, you have to maintain relationships, you have to maintain who's who and what they can offer, and
yes,
stunning, really, what they've been able to do. What it's like working with the people of Jobs and Hope itself, their staff.
Deb Harris is the overseeing manager, and Lori Smith is the actual person that's in charge of the program. They are wonderful people to work with. Anytime they have a question, they feel I've given them my contact information. They contact me on a weekly basis sometimes. Hey, how's this changing? Hey, I heard about this. Because they're really inquisitive about changes that happen in DMV and transportation in general. And if there's any kind of additional services or changes to legislation that would benefit their participants, they're always eager to find that out and say, hey, how's this going to change things? Like I said, we do the quarterly training with the transition agents, and it's based out of the education department. So like I said, it's a big group of inquisitive minds. They're always eager to learn. They're always wanting to keep things up to date so they can provide the best services that they can to their clients. But yeah, I've really enjoyed working with them over the years.
They've probably seen some success stories. I'm sure you have too.
Yes.
I was talking to Jack McNeely in our Governor's Highway Safety Program, and he said something that I didn't think of just as a citizen, that often the designated driver, and we were talking designated drivers was the subject we were talking at the time, is just the least impaired person. There's several people out. It ends up being, instead of somebody who showed up and didn't drink,
right,
it's somebody who maybe just had one or two.
And it's tragic.
And they never would have seen themselves in their role. Nobody would see themselves in that role going forward.
Right.
What's it like working with those people and, building back after that? Because I'm sure nobody ever says I'm going to get a DUI today.
No, and they don't anticipate that. The ads on television that you see is true. Buzz driving is still drunk driving. And whether you've had one or whether you've had 10, any amount of alcohol or controlled substance can cause an impairment. A lot of our drivers that call here in driver services, we do get our share of angry customers, but there are a lot of them said, I had no idea. They were completely unfamiliar with the law, even though the ad campaigns are out there. People really disregard a lot of things. Well, that can never happen to me, but it does. And in the state of West Virginia, even if you are in a vehicle and you give somebody else the keys and you're saying, hey, you're not impaired, you can drive for me, you can still be revoked for that. It's called knowingly permitting another driver to drive your vehicle when you know that they've had any kind of consumption of alcohol. So these are a lot of the underlying suspensions and revocations that the public really aren't familiar with. So whenever they do get convicted of that kind of thing, it is very shocking, it's very humbling, and it's a very expensive lesson to learn.
Let's talk about the process from when somebody is on the phone with you for the first time and they're looking at trying to get their license back, and they need it.
They need it.
But they also want to make sure that it doesn't go down the same path again, and you want to make sure that. What's the first thing you do working with them? And I know there's different, they have a different set of criteria, they have different things that they would need to do. Yes. But in general, your process, your office workflow here.
Our specialists, when they answer a phone call, they first identify the person. We review the driving record history with the driver while they're on the phone. We allow them to ask any questions that they may have. We listen to them because listening is key whenever we're trying to service these citizens. Whenever we do find that this person has something on their driving record history, if it is something that's related to citations, we provide them with court information, telephone numbers, addresses where they can go and resolve their issue. We tell them step by step everything that they need to do in the reinstatement process, including whether or not they owe reinstatement fees, any documentation they have to give us. So once you've given them all the information, you tell them what they need to do. If they're willing to pay, then sometimes they do. We'll go ahead and take payments for them if they ask. If not, we give them their payment options, and the DMV is expanding their availability and their options on how they can pay their reinstatement fees, having more online options. We allow them to transmit their documentation here electronically, bring it in person, or they can mail it in, whatever works for them is most convenient. Our commissioner's goal that he stated here recently in a lot of his statements is that he wants our customers to feel that when they walk into the DMV, they are treated as guests. And we do that here at Driver Services. We go above and beyond to make sure that our customers are satisfied and they're given all the information and they are truly taken care of as if they are guests.
Do you have a lot of success stories?
I'll tell you one that really stands out in my mind. 14 years ago, I was working the front windows. I was the one that was doing the reinstatement, talking to the customers, and it was tax season. A gentleman approached me, and he had transferred to another state. He had gotten a new job, built up a business of his own, needed to get a CDL. Unfortunately, at the time, West Virginia and the state of Ohio's systems were not talking very well to one another electronically. And so they told him, you can't test, you can't do this. So he comes in here and he says, what am I going to do? You know, I'm going to lose my business. I'm in the middle of a custody battle. There was a lot of personal, intimate details that our customers give us. And I was able to work with him, actually call the courts myself and say, hey, this is the situation. What can we do for this guy? Got him connected to the right people. He has since went on to get his CDLs. He has cleaned up his driving records. He has had absolutely no issues within the last 10, 15 years. Has a thriving business in the state of Ohio now. And that was... He is one of my standout. He is what shines, because that's what makes it worthwhile, is being able to give these people what they need in order to flourish and grow and have the life that they've always wanted.
You know, everybody likes to feel like their job is meaningful. Yours, it's easy to see.
I've been blessed.
Talk to us a little bit about your staff and, you know, the people who want to come work for you and with you in this section, you know, your employees.
I have to brag, my staff is fabulous. There's other areas of other government agencies that experience a lot of turnover. I've had to hire one employee in the last 9 years that I have been a division manager for these areas that I currently oversee, and
Wow.
that is because he retired. The employees that I have here, they strive for excellence. They go above and beyond every single day. I mean, we have a standard set of processes and procedures. I have people out there that are currently asking me for more every single day. They want to learn more. They want to do more. They're asking me for more because they're eager to help people just as much as I am. They get along with each other very well. They work as a team, a true team. You can hear them if you walk through driver services as any given day, talking to each other out loud. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm going to take this, can you help me with that? They really do operate as a functional team, and I think that that is attributed to a lot of the success that we have in these units over here.
A turnover one in 9 years, did
One.
you say? In 9 years?
In 9 years.
That's almost a decade.
As a division manager, I've had to hire one because he retired.
Wow. And the fellow retiring, how many years of service did he have?
25.
Wow. Just the one.
One.
That's data that, I mean, we're very data driven.
Yes.
That's data
Yes.
that actually speaks quite clearly. How many are in that group, in that
I have a total of 11
people?
between the two units that I oversee.
With them, and I'm sure they maintain hope too. They obviously do.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't have had a turnover of one in 9 years. But did they have stories personally? Addiction in West Virginia, it touches everyone's life.
Yes, it does.
Everybody knows somebody. Everybody has seen the personal struggle and the way that it can wreak havoc in a life of somebody who never expected it.
Absolutely.
It's every town, big and small, country, city, all over.
Yeah, it knows no definition. There is no boundaries for that. It colors outside the lines, if you want to say that. My staff out there, they all have experienced over the years, and I have been blessed to be able to counsel them and help them along the way. They've all experienced tragedy in their personal lives. They've all experienced angry, aggressive, abusive customers on the phone. They have all experienced people that has been transferred to me to tell me what a good job they've done. They talk to each other, they rely on each other, and it helps them get through.
If the next one in 9 years is listening, because you eventually folks do retire.
Yes.
If somebody wants to get into that line of work or wants to come to DMV specifically to do that, what would you recommend to that person?
I would recommend to that person that they have an open mind and an open heart and the ability to communicate. That is key in our area, is not only being able to communicate with the customers, but be able to communicate with their coworkers. An open mind, because state government is fluid. It changes every single year, and that is part of this job, and you have to be able to adapt to the changes. We are looking at modernizing to make things better for our employees, and so anybody coming in to this, be ready to work, but also hopefully they'll be able to enjoy the benefits of a new modernized system whenever we get that in place.
That's really a touchstone of DMV right now. In look around, and it may be something seemingly small, like those e-test cards last
right.
month. But it's just like constant innovation.
Yes, it is, and that's true worldwide in every facet of government, business, just in life in general. Everything is more technology driven now than it has been in the last 50 years. And some of it's good, some of it's bad. You just have to weed through it. But here at DMV, our goal is to make things as easy and convenient and simple for our customers as we could possibly make it, while providing the best customer service.
You're listening to WVDMV Licensed to Innovate. On our second podcast here, we've been talking to Sherry Hensley in Driver Services about driver reinstatement and about participating in the Day of Hope with Jobs in Hope. Sherry, if you are the person getting ready to make a call to you, the guest getting
Yes.
ready to call you, what would you tell them?
Well, we would like for these customers to be able to have a pen and paper handy. We put that on our prompt on all of our phones. Be ready to write, be ready to engage in a wonderful conversation with one of our specialists. Have your identifying information ready and available, and we're going to be able to do for you as much as we possibly can within the limits of the law, but we will make sure that you are taken care of.
You have solutions. You know how to navigate.
That's it. We do. And if we don't, we figure it out.
That's always just what to do. Well, thank you, Sherry. We've been talking to Sherry, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back on the other side. Harvey will bring us the news. Stay with us.
I'm Amy Boggs with the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program. The mission of our program is to reduce crashes, serious injuries, and fatalities on West Virginia's roadways. We focus on unsafe behaviors and work to get people to change their unsafe behaviors, such as wearing a seatbelt correctly, obeying the speed limit, not driving impaired or distracted, educate the public on these issues, and we fund media efforts and extra law enforcement efforts. In the coming months, we will be raising awareness of impaired driving, proper use of seatbelts, distracted driving, and running stop signs and red lights. Safety is everyone's responsibility, so please do your part. Stay tuned and stay safe.
I'm Harvey, here to bring you your West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicle news. First up, another reminder that on February 1st, 2026, the Transportation Security Administration will begin requiring all airline passengers to complete an extra identity check and pay a $45 fee if they do not have a real ID, passport, or other acceptable identification. West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles is here to help you get your real ID. You will need your birth certificate, any name change documents, and 2 proofs of physical address. We are ready to assist and make every step in the process as easy as possible. Stop by your local office or get a head start on gathering your documents on our website, dmv.wv.gov. And if you're listening to our second podcast, thinking of a career with the West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles, it's easy to apply. Go to transportation.wv.gov and click on Careers. Scroll down and type DMV in the search bar for your current DMV openings around the state. Fill out your application in detail, listing all job experiences, and check again each week to look for new openings. I'm Harvey, and that concludes our news break. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Harvey. You know, the great thing about clicking on that Careers tab at transportation.wv.gov and searching for DMV jobs or jobs at one of our transportation sister agencies is that there really are good, long-term, good-paying jobs, the kind of jobs where you can build your skills, continue to grow, and retire with us someday. And that application really is just the doorway. But remember, as Harvey said, to include all of your jobs, job duties, and pay rates, so the folks in HR can work to make sure all of your experience is counted. You've been listening to West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles podcast, Licensed to Innovate, featuring this week a very special partnership with the Can Do team at Jobs and Hope. West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles is working to become a more efficient agency, a more innovative agency, and above all, a welcoming agency for our friends and neighbors all around West Virginia. You can visit us online at dmv.wv.gov or stop by one of our kiosks or regional offices across the state. And as our Deputy Commissioner Linda Ellis points out, gone are the days when you call or stop by DMV and the person you speak to says, "I don't know what to tell you." We're working every day to share what we do with each other and with you. Thank you for listening to License to Innovate, Episode 2. Until next time, safe travels.